Hi guys, how are you? Hope everybody is well. I thought I would do a video this afternoon. Excuse me as I move around. I am cooking dinner. It's 3 o'clock here, and I am trying to throw together a dinner before I go pick up the kids so that, it's kind of like halfway done by the time I get home, or 3/4 way done. So I'll be getting up off and on, but I'm gonna make this video pretty quick anyway. So, and now I gotta walk back in because I forgot what I was gonna bring in. So when I was looking at my videos, I noticed that one of the videos, probably my highest video, is the one on going back to work. And it's funny because it's part 2. You would think that the part 1 and part 2 would have the same amount of views, but part 2 has more views than part 1. Possibly, I didn't even bother to check, but it's probably got less amount of time. You're probably watching it less. So you're like, maybe it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes, who knows? I have to look at it. But so I decided that I am going to make a series of videos over the next week or two regarding this subject of going back to work. And the reason I'm going to make a series of them is I want to make them short, and there are a lot of information that I want you to have because most of us will go back to work. Most of us have to go back to work, and so we really need those tips. And one rule, one law when we went to school and we're being taught, how to teach you is to not overburden you with information that you don't need yet. So for instance, let's say you're pregnant right now, you don't need to worry about what you have to do 2 weeks before you go back to work. I mean, why worry that far ahead when you have enough things on your plate right now? So I'm going to break these videos up into a series, and I'm going to put them, somehow I'm going to show that these are things to watch prenatally, and then there are going to be some videos I want you to wait to watch till after you have the baby. Just so that, you don't have to know all this information before the baby's born. So that's why I'm going to do this. And the first topic I'm going to talk about is maternity leave, because that's the first thing that you need to start thinking about right away. And that sounds kind of funny because I'm sitting here telling you not to worry about something so far ahead. But with maternity leave, it is important because you need to prepare for it, and you might need 10 months to prepare for it. So for instance, you might need, every other country in the world seems to have paid maternity leave, but we don't in the US. And we are given 6 weeks, I want to say, is what they give, but it's not paid. And I know you can take up to 12 weeks. And personally, I know that I took up to 12 weeks for most of my children. Although there were a few that I went back to work at about 4 weeks, but I didn't go back to work completely. I just did it slowly, like in steps. And I did it like on weekends at that time, just so that my husband was home with the baby. I really didn't have to worry. And it was just a few short hours, but it kind of got some income back in the house. And from being a peer at WIC, I remember so many moms saying, I'm not even going to take any time at all. Basically the week that I have the baby, and then I have to go back to school, or I have to go back to work within, 4 weeks. And that's really, really tough. And so that's why I'm doing this video now. And I want you as a mom who is just maybe now pregnant, or you're just, coming along, I want you to start thinking about it now, because you need to start planning now. So what you have to decide is, how long am I going to take maternity leave? What's recommended? And what's recommended, and what's practical for me. So it's recommended that you take as much time as you can right after the baby's born. Like, try not to take too much time before the baby's born, which is not always easy. But then they also have had studies show that mom who takes maternity leave 2 weeks before she gives birth has less chances of a C-section. Now I'm getting this information from the Womanly Art of Breastfeeding, the La Leche League International. I don't know if this is the 8th edition, so you might be able to, this is on page 2, starts on page 265 if you happen to want to be looking up the information yourself. So you really have to think about, okay, how long do I want, how long do I want to stay with my baby? And how long do I think it's practically, it's practical? How long will I really be able to stay? Now, let's say you want to stay 12 weeks, but you feel like, okay, 6 weeks is going to be pushing it. So what could you do now to give yourself that 12 weeks so that maybe you could take 2 weeks prior to the baby being born and then still have 10 weeks, with the baby after? Or maybe you want to take more than 12 weeks. Or like I said, maybe it's going to be 4 and you want it to be all after the baby's born, not before, and all that kind of things. So my first suggestion is going to be, so you make that decision, you decide. Then you need to start saving money. Grab an envelope or a jar or something and just start putting change. When you go to the store and you buy a gallon of milk and you have 20 cents left over, throw it in that jar. If it's possible, I know a lot of times with direct deposit, you can have a certain percentage put in your savings account. I would suggest doing that. It doesn't have to be very much. You might say 0. Ouch. There's like a, sorry, there's like a nail in that chair. It might be like, I don't know, like a really 0.01% of your check. I don't know, something really, it might seem to you very, very unreasonable, or no, like it would really help, I guess. But it doesn't matter. I would just start doing it now. The earlier you start, the better. And this also gives you time to really think about, okay, I want to stay home for let's say I want to stay home for 12 weeks. What do I need to do to make that possible? How much money would I need to save? You'll be able to start figuring that out. And then you'll be able to think, okay, this is how much I would need to save. Is this practical? Will I be able to do that? If you realize or feel, you know what, this is not practical, there's no way I can do 12, then you start, but just by sitting down and calculating, you're gonna be able to figure out how much time you actually will be able to, that will be practical. The other important point is to speak with your employer. Find out from your employer right away, like, will they help you out with maternity leave? Are they willing to give you, that 12 weeks or whatever it is that you aim for? It's also important to find out from them whether you'll be able to take any time off before the baby's born. That way you can kind of like check that off if it's something your employer is not going to allow you to do. And of course, your spouse or, whoever may be financially going to help you with the baby, afterwards, that's a good person to talk about with it too. And if you're a younger person, maybe you're a teenager, always speaking to, an adult or someone who's done it before. Maybe you're not a teenager, but it's your first baby and people who have done it. They've gone back to work and, they've done it and you want to see, how it works for them. This is the time. This is what I want you to focus on right now, is maternity leave. I want you to sit down and write it down and calculate what you're going to need and so forth. Really start thinking about that. In the next few videos, I'm going to really try to go like literally in a chronological type of order where, okay, now after maternity leave, it's this. This is what you need to think about. So I'm really going to try to do that in each step and keep them hopefully under 15 minutes. Right now I'm at 10 minutes, which is so weird how fast time goes. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to start with that. That will help you so much. And do not think about what is going to happen later. Please just focus on the maternity leave right now. and everything else will get to it. A lot of it should not even be thought about or worried about until you get there. And yes, the reason we talk about this so early is this gives you 10 months of saving. And just think about if you saved, let's say you saved, if you could manage to save $50 to $100 a month over the next 10 months, that could get you through, 3 months. Because, you're going to be working for the next 10 months and all you need to do is find a way to cover 3 months or less than 3 months or a little more than 3 months, whatever it is you need. And don't think about like excess things, just think about actual needs, things that you have to have, things the baby's going to have. And then also incorporate WIC, and what they'll provide and, what other areas that you might be receiving help. Count those in too. Find out if you qualify for short-term disability at your job. Some jobs offer that and you can take that for maternity leave. So start thinking about that now. That's my tip for today. That's my video for today. And this is basically a prenatal video because this is when I want you to think about it, is prenatally. So over the next few weeks, you will see, these videos coming out. Many will, it's not long where it's gonna go over into the postnatal, so I don't want you to worry about those yet. I want you to just focus on the ones that focus on prenatal. You can get to the postnatal when it comes, okay? So that's it. If you have any questions or concerns, please comment below, email me, whatever. Don't forget to subscribe, keep watching, and yeah, I hope you guys are all doing good, and I will talk to, and I should just say congratulations, because if you're watching this, most likely you're pregnant. So congratulations, and I will try my best to help you get through it without worrying too much. And again, anything I can answer, please email me or comment below. So you guys have a great day. Bye.